Hey everyone, it's Matt Fraser, the Psychic Medium, and I am live right now on YouTube. So come on in. We got a lot to talk about. And one of the questions that I've been getting asked by you guys is, if a soul did not speak English here in this world, well, how are you going to be able to talk to that person as a psychic medium? And first of all, let me tell you, I absolutely love this question. And you don't know how many people actually ask me this. And here's what I want you guys to know. It might sound a little bit weird, but when your loved ones leave this world, when they transition on to the other side, they actually have a different language that they use to communicate with psychics and mediums like myself. And what I want you guys to know is this, is that on the other side, there is something called universal language. So how does that work? What is universal language? Does universal language mean that when we get to the other side, we all have to learn English, or we all have to learn Spanish, or we all have to learn Italian? Or is it that we speak differently than how we do here in this world? Well, I've actually asked the other side about this, and there have been a couple of things that they've told me about what actually happens when we die and what language that we speak when we go to the other side. So to me, it was a little bit weird to understand, but this is the way the spirits have explained it to me, which I'm going to share with you, is that the souls have told me this. When they go to the other side, everybody can just understand one another. So, whether a Spanish person who speaks Spanish is speaking to somebody who speaks Italian, and that Italian person is speaking to somebody who speaks English, everybody can just go and understand one another. Well, how is that possible? So the souls tell me this. The souls tell me that in heaven, we all speak our natural language. So somebody who spoke English here in this world will speak English on the other side. Someone whose first language is Spanish will speak Spanish on the other side. Somebody who, first language is Italian will speak Italian on the other side, and so on and so forth. But what's really cool is they might be speaking in their natural language in heaven, but the person that is receiving that information, the person that soul is talking to, will be able to hear it in English. And that person who is speaking English to that person who speaks Spanish, that Spanish-speaking person will be able to hear what that person's saying in their own natural language. Is that not crazy? Well, if you think that's crazy, here's what the souls also tell me about the way that they speak, is that not only when we get to heaven are we able to hear and understand everybody, but also on the other side, and I don't know how I feel about this, I'm going to be honest with you, because you guys know I'm always honest. I'm also told that on the other side, in spirit, we can actually understand our pets. So the same way that we talk to people, we can actually have conversations with our pets. Mind blown. Are you freaking kidding me? Which I don't know. Like I said, that seems a little bit creepy to me. I ask the spirits about this all the time, and I'm like, listen, one day when I die, I got to be honest with you guys. I love my pets. I love my animals. But I'm not sure I want to talk to them. I don't know. I kind of like them being silent, because it's the only thing that I know. I don't know what's going to happen when one day, I pass and all of a sudden all my pets are going to be there and I'm going to be hearing from them. Like, to me, that is like mind blowing. Like, I'm like, I can't kind of fathom that. But I've talked to the souls about this, and for them, it's just normal everyday life. To them, the fact that they can talk to pets and pets talk back, and they can talk to people in their language and understand them in the language that the other person is speaking, it's just normal day-to-day life on the other side. And I've asked them, I'm like, well, how is that to me? Because, I have conversations with your loved ones, and I say to them, well, that just seems weird to me. Was that hard to get used to? Was it, tough to get used to? And they said to me that it feels so natural in heaven that, to them, it's like communicating the same way that they did here on earth. And, once I think about this, it kind of makes sense. For example, I remember back when I was a kid, right? And text messaging first came out. Do you guys remember this? And I remember text messaging just first came out, and people would go and text on their phones. And back then, everybody used to call one another. Nobody would ever text. Everyone would call one another. And when text messages first came out, by the way, I see a lot of you guys calling me daddy. You guys are so funny. Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard yet, my wife Alexa is pregnant. We just found out it's a baby boy. So if you haven't heard about that, we are beyond the moon excited. You can actually see the video on her YouTube channel as well under Alexa Fraser. So that's one of the things that I want to let you guys know as well. But anyway, going back, I don't want to get off topic, so I got to tell you guys this. So remember back in the day when text messages first came out, I remember I had a cousin who started text messaging. She was in college and she was text messaging like her boyfriend or whatnot. And she ran the bill up to like $500, and her family had a fit. And I remember all my family was all ragging on it, right? They were like, how is it that somebody can communicate through text message? They're like, how does that even work? What the hell do you have to say through text message? Why wouldn't you pick up the phone to call somebody? It takes longer to write the message than it does to actually get on the phone and call the person. Just call the person. And I remember everyone saying about how stupid text messaging was and that it wasn't going to last and that why would someone do that? Just email the person, call the person, and look at today's time. In today's time, all we do is text. I barely get on the phone with anybody. When I'm talking to people, it's so much easier to text. And texting has become our life. Literally, text messages has changed the way that we communicate. And I feel we communicate better, through text messages sometimes than we actually do to speaking towards someone because we can kind of organize our thoughts. Well, it's the same thing with our loved ones in spirit. When they go to the other side, they have to learn this new way to communicate. And for them, it's just natural because they're just talking naturally as they would here in this world. But what's really cool is that, when our loved ones go to the other side, they also have to find a way to reach us here in this world and to be able to communicate with a psychic medium like myself. So I just want to talk about that for a minute. Because a lot of times when you see me give readings, I'll talk to you guys in full sentences. I'll say to you, your mom is telling me that she's with your Aunt Heidi, and she's telling me that, when she was here in this world, she used to like to knit and crochet, and she tells me that her best memories of you were when you went to that time in Aruba, and you guys took that flight together, and I'll tell you all these full sentences. But what's really cool is that your loved ones don't speak full sentences to me. As a medium, your loved ones use a different language that they use to communicate with me. So what does that mean? When we change worlds, when your loved ones go to the other side, they don't come back and speak to us in full sentences. It's a different way of communicating. And to psychics and mediums, your loved ones have to communicate with us primarily through our thoughts, feelings, and our emotions. So what does that mean? It means that as a medium, when I'm connecting with your loved ones, a lot of times I'll see them, but then also at the same time, I'll start to receive quick bits of information. And this is how it comes through to me. I'll literally hear this. How did you pass? Quick illness. What happened? Heart attack. And then as I'm connecting with your loved ones will allow me to feel things in my body the way that they did before they were sick. If someone passed of emphysema here in this world and couldn't breathe, I might start to feel all of this pain in through here. If somebody passed where they couldn't walk at the end, or maybe there was an issue with an amputation, I might start to feel some tingling within my legs. If somebody passed of an aneurysm, I might start to feel my head start to tingle in here. And that's how I know that Spirit's trying to tell me that they passed to the head here in the physical. And then at the same time, I'll see visions. What are visions? Visions are literally like daydreaming when you are awake. Is that all of a sudden, your loved ones in spirit will show me these little movies in my mind. They literally come through like daydreams where I'll see the moments of a person's life. Maybe they'll show me what happened before they left this world. Maybe they'll show me what happened when they were a little kid. Maybe they'll show me what's going to happen in the future. Maybe they'll show me some of their fondest memories that they had, with their daughter or that person that I'm reading for here in this world. And as a medium, I get to take all of these different things that they're showing me and put them together, to tell a story. And that's how I get the full sentences. And a lot of people say to me, well, Matt, you never come up for air. When you're doing a reading, people say to me all the time, especially on this channel, they say to me, Matt, how is it that you're able to do a reading and you literally don't stop talking? They're like, how is it that you're talking to the dead when you don't stop talking yourself? Well, here's the reason why, because your loved ones communicate, in a different way. So if a soul was here and they were telling me, oh, Matt, can you please tell my mom that I'm okay? Can you please tell my mom that, I left this world tragically, but I'm fine. Can you please let her know that I know that about the shoes that she kept of mine and so on and so forth? It would take forever for your loved ones to tell me that. And literally you would see me go like this and stop and listen and then have to tell you and stop and listen and have to tell you. But that's not how spirit communicates. Spirit communicates in this. That same message that just took me all that time to tell you, it's almost like getting a text message from heaven. All of a sudden, I might see shoes that pop up in front of me in my mind. They might show me a pair of shoes, and I'll know, okay, that's that soul trying to tell me that their mother kept the shoes. Then all of a sudden, I'll see, police line, do not cross, and I'll know that that person passed in a tragedy. And then all of a sudden, I'll see the vision of a headstone with being engraved, and I'll know, okay, their mom did something special on their headstone after they had died. And then next thing you know, they'll show me, the state of Florida, and I'll know, okay, this happened in Florida. Or they'll show me a date in front of me, like the 16th, and I'll know that that person died on that day. Well, this is how they communicate. And the reason why is this, is that, like I said, your loved ones, when they go to the side, their energy. So they can't come back and speak full sentences like they did here in the physical world. So they use these other signs and symbols to be able to communicate with us. In the same way that you're getting signs and symbols from your loved ones use that same way to communicate with us here in this world as mediums. So what does that mean? It means that over the years, your loved ones in spirit have sent me so many signs and symbols. And I'll learn what those signs and symbols mean, as I keep doing these readings, because literally it's like a language that you're learning. Even like here in this world, right? Here in this world, there's some English words that I'm not familiar with. And when there's something I don't know, I still have to go online and get on the dictionary and look it up in the dictionary to see what a certain word means or if I'm using it correctly. Well, it's the same thing as a medium, is that every time that I do a reading, I'm learning more and more and more about the other side. I'm learning how they communicate, and I'm learning what they're trying to tell me and how they're trying to get in touch with me. And that's the same thing that they're doing with you as well. So I want you guys to know this. I want you guys to know that every single day, your loved ones are trying to come through to you just the same way that they're trying to come through to us mediums. For example, through those thoughts, feelings, emotions, through these thought waves. And what's so cool is that when your loved ones come through to me, I'll actually experience them. What does that mean? It means like you ever meet somebody here in this world who's just a presence when they walk through the door. Like a lot of people say to me when they first meet me, they're like, oh my God, Matt, they're like, you just have such great energy. Like I can feel you. I can feel your energy when you're here. Like I don't know how you have so much energy. People will say to me, they're like, you're just a presence when you come in. Well, I got to tell you, it's the same thing when, not to toot my own horn, by the way, but it's the same thing when connecting with your loved ones in spirit as well. When they come through to me, I actually experience them. What does that mean? Let's say that your father was a smoker here in this world. When I'm connecting with your dad, I might smell, that smell of smoke all around me because that's what he smelled like. If your mom was somebody who always wore a certain fragrance, a certain perfume, like Gina Tay, I might smell that when I'm connecting with her. For example, there was this reading that I did where this woman had lost her husband. And when he came through, all I could smell was the gas station. It was so strong, you guys. It was literally like gas, like at the pump. And I'm going to her, oh my God, I don't even know how I'm going to tell this woman this. But I'm like, your husband's here? I'm like, and listen, I'm like, I keep smelling gas. I'm like, not this type of gas. I'm like, but the gas like from the tank. And she was like, oh my God, Matt. She's like, that my husband owned the oil company. Yes. She's like, he did gas. He always smelled like petroleum. She's like, absolutely. And she's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I know that because I smell them. And she's like, what do you mean you smell them? I don't smell anything. I'm like, because when souls come through, that's a sign that they use. And a lot of times, the signs that your loved ones will show me are the same way that they're trying to get in touch with you. And it's amazing how many times I will talk to somebody and they're not seeing the signs around them. They might think that their loved ones are distant from them when really their loved ones have been trying to send them signs in different ways. What I want you guys to know is this. Your loved ones in spirit can communicate with the psychic medium, whether or not they spoke English or not. Or for example, well, for me, that's English. But let's say you're talking to a Spanish-speaking medium and your loved one spoke English. They can come through that medium as well because of that universal language, because of the fact that they talk to mediums in a different way. So what I want you guys to know is this. I want you to know that, connecting with the medium is really just a tool in the toolbox. It's another way for your loved ones to reach you, just like we have many different ways of communicating here in this world. We have Zoom, we have Skype, we have text message, we have email, we have phone calls, we have meeting in person, right? And however you connect with a person or however you connect with your loved ones, the messages will somehow get through, whether it's through Zoom, Skype, text message, so on and so forth. It's the same thing with the other side. So connecting with the medium is just kind of like a Zoom conference. It's just a little bit more clearer of a connection that your loved ones can use to speak and connect with us. So that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know that because so many of you have been asking this question. And like I said, that's the reason why pets can come through to a medium as well. And more importantly, young souls that couldn't speak here in this world can also come through. So for example, there was this woman that came to my event. I'll never forget it. It was in Texas. And the moment that I looked out into the audience, her son was next to her. And her son said to me from the stage, he showed me the symbol of autism. And he said to me that he couldn't speak here in this world. He was showing me all these gestures that he used to use. And he says to me, can you please let my mom know that I can speak? And I went up to her and I said, your son is here. I says, and she like all of a sudden she was like in shock. And she kind of didn't believe me. And I was like, your son is here. And she just kind of looked at me like this. I'm like, your son wants me to tell you one thing. He wants to let you know that he can speak now, because here in this world he had autism and he couldn't speak. And I started to deliver this message. And I was telling her that what her son was telling me is that when he was here in this world, even though he couldn't speak and communicate with her, him and his mom formed a different bond with one another. They had a really spiritual bond with one another, where literally she knew his thoughts and feelings, whether he was happy, whether he was angry, whether he was excited over something. She knew if he wanted to eat, if he was overtired. She knew all these things, even though he couldn't speak directly to her. And he wanted to thank his mom for the way that she stood by his side, the way that she was his patient advocate, the way that she did so much for him here in this world, the way that she gave up so much of her life for him. And this woman was immediately in tears, and she was like just bawling at this event. And she says to me, Matt, I had no expectation for today. She goes, I never thought my son would come through because he couldn't speak here in this world. She goes, and I never thought that he would be able to speak in the afterlife, because I never saw my son speak. I never heard my son speak. I said, well, he can speak now. And the thing is that it's the same thing with pets. There's many times when I'll do a reading, and sometimes I'll hear from a soul. And this always throws me off, by the way, when I do a reading, right? That there are times when I will hear from a soul, but I won't see a physical person. So there'll be a soul that will come through that will start talking to me, saying these random things, but I don't see a body there. Like normally when I connect with somebody, right, I might see your son standing behind you, or your mom standing behind you. But sometimes there's souls that come through that don't show themselves to me. And I'll just hear, I passed in this way, or I need to tell my loved one this, and this. So for example, I was on the radio with Jenny McCarthy, and she had her friends there. And when I was on her radio show, her friend that was there, I said, I have a soul with you that I can't place. I don't know who this soul is, but they're telling me that you're so distraught over this person's passing, or over this soul's passing, I should say, because of the fact that they died during surgery. I'm like, I don't know who this is. I don't see the soul, but I keep hearing that. And the woman was like, oh, that's my dog. She's like, my dog just died a few weeks ago during surgery, and me and my husband can't get over it. She was so upset over it. And literally her dog came there, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm talking to a dog right now? And like, it's funny because like afterwards she was like, did you know you were talking to my dog? I'm like, I had no idea. I'm like, I had a soul that was talking to me. I just assumed that it was a human. And she was like, oh, she goes, I thought you would hear like barking or something. I'm like, no, souls don't communicate in that way. I don't hear your loved one's voice on the other side. Sometimes I'll hear whispers. I'll hear names, dates, and places. That's how I hear that. But the main way they communicate is by showing me those fast, visions, images, and making me feel things. Like, for example, when I was connecting with that soul that passed, I saw the operating table, and I saw, what's it called? I can't even place it, like medical equipment. And that's how I knew that soul, passed during surgery or during an operation. So I wanted you guys to know this and really understand this, because your loved ones have really unique ways to reach mediums like myself, and they also have unique ways of trying to reach you. And don't forget, one of the main ways that your loved ones will reach you through signs is actually through coincidences. So a lot of people don't realize that coincidences are a sign, but I promise you they are. So here's an explanation. If you're driving in the car and you're thinking about your dad that had passed away, and you're like, oh my God, Dad, I miss you so much. And then all of a sudden, literally, a car drives by, maybe it's an Oldsmobile, all right? And it's the same year, make, model, and color of your dad's favorite car that he used to have here in this world, where literally you look over and you're like, oh my God, that was my dad's favorite car. That wasn't just a coincidence. That was a sign that your loved ones are sending you. So many times people get hung up with the butterflies, dragonflies, numbers, smells, and those are all amazing signs, but don't forget about the coincidences as well. Those random things that happen that make you think about your loved ones are signs as well. Don't just think about the general signs, because there's so many specific signs your loved ones will send you in that way, for example, like that. So what I want to let you guys know is that the next time you kind of scratch your head and you say, oh my God, that's a coincidence, think again. It might be your loved one in spirit trying to come through with a message. And Lindsay's saying deja vu. Yeah, that's definitely a sign as well that, maybe your loved one is showing you at that time, depending on what the deja vu is, that you were meant to be there at that place at that time. So that's one of the things. And a lot of you guys are asking me about 1111. 1111 is one of the most common signs. It means that, your loved one's spirits and angels are trying to test the connection. They're trying to let you know that they're there and with you. And more importantly, that they're guiding you on that life path. So know that when you see these signs, you can always ask your loved ones, what do you mean? Give me something more specific. Show me some additional signs. And when you speak to them, you let them know that those signs are working. And your loved ones will use other signs to come through in your life and show you that they're there. So that being said, I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but I just announced that I'm coming to give live readings in some brand new places. So if you'd like to come and meet me for a live reading, I'm coming to New York City on April 30th, and then I'm coming to Detroit, Michigan. I'm coming to Columbus, Ohio. I'm coming to Springfield, Massachusetts. And I'm also coming to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And all of those dates are on my website, meetmattfraser.com. That's meetmattfraser.com. And what I want to let you guys know is that if you can't attend one of those events, let's say you don't live in that city, state, or even if you don't live in the United States, I want to let you guys know that there's another way that you can come and join me, and that is at an online group reading. If you see my YouTube page, you will see all these online readings that I do for families. All of those people who have gotten readings have gotten them one way, because they joined an online group reading, and it's only $19 to attend. And thank you, Shannon, so much for that. It's only $19 to attend an online group reading, and I wanted to do this for one reason. I wanted to give everyone the opportunity of hearing from a loved one. Thank you so much, Amanda, as well. Thank you guys so much in the super chat. So what I want you all to know is that if you're missing a loved one, if you're hoping to hear a message, a lot of you guys write on those videos and you're like, Matt, I wish my loved one would come through. I wish that my mom would come through, or my dad would come through, or I wish I could hear from my brother, or I wish I could hear from my best friend, or I wish I could hear from this person or that person. What I want to let you guys know is that, in order to hear a message, you've got to try. Come to an online reading, come to an event. It doesn't matter how you attend, whether it be online or in person. It matters that you're there, because when you're there, you give your loved ones a way to connect with you. So online readings are only $19, and most of my in-person events start at just $45 to attend. And thank you, Matthew Marchetti, as well, in the super chat. What I want you guys to know is this. I want you guys to know that your loved ones are always there. They're always with you. And it's amazing how one message from Spirit can help us to heal in so many different ways. I've seen so many people walk in nervous, scared, not sure. Is my loved one with me? Is there a heaven? Is there an afterlife? How do I know my loved one is there and with me? Well, all of a sudden, they receive a message, and without a doubt, they know that they're there. And those are my favorite readings, by the way. Do you see the readings on my page where so many people walk in skeptics, and next thing you know, these messages just change their life? Well, what I want to let you guys know is that if it happened for them, it can also happen to you. Thank you, Misty Morris, as well. You just got to make sure that you give them a connection. I hope that I'm your connection, because when I meet you, I also meet your loved ones in spirit. So like I said, one more time, I'm coming to New York City on April 30th. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, come to Staten Island, come to Long Island. Unfortunately, I'm just coming to New York City. I will not be coming to any of those areas. Just New York City this year, because I wanted to create a central place where everybody could come. And we are almost out of tickets. And then also, I'm going to be, I have 2 online group readings in May. So the only catch with the online readings is that I can only allow so many people to attend. It is only $19, but we are almost sold out. So the next one is May 21st. It seems like it's a long time away, but literally there are only a few spots left. So whether you're attending online or if you want to come see me in person, you can attend by visiting meetmattfraser.com. That's meetmattfraser.com. And what I have to let you guys know, if you're coming to an in-person event, it doesn't matter where you sit. It just matters that you're there. Same thing with online. Because if there's a message from your loved one, I don't care if you're sitting way in the back, if you're sitting in the front, or if you're sitting way up in the far corner, I will find you, because the souls bring me all over to communicate. And if you haven't already, I have one other thing I got to let you know. Everything that I've learned from the spirit world, I put in my brand new book that's coming out this summer. It's called We Never Die, Secrets of the Afterlife. And guys, I got to thank you, because so far we have pre-sold over 7,000 copies, and we are going to run out. So if you haven't pre-ordered your copy now, I would do so by visiting Amazon and getting your order in for We Never Die, Secrets of the Afterlife. If you're ordering on Amazon, you don't get charged until it ships to you, and it's being released this August. So you've got to make sure that your pre-order is in. This is so very important, because the last thing I want is for you guys to miss out on this book. And inside, there's all the questions that you've been dying to ask a psychic medium, no pun intended. For example, what happens to souls that passed of suicide? What happens if you didn't get to say goodbye? What age are you in heaven? What happens if you were married multiple times? Who are you with in heaven? It's all here in my book, We Never Die, Secrets of the Afterlife. And it's for this reason, because there's 2 versions of us, our physical version and also our soul. And when we pass on, we might leave our physical body here, but our soul passes on, and we look just as we did here in the physical world. The only difference is that we don't have any illness, pain, or suffering. So that's all in my new book, We Never Die. So make sure you have your Amazon orders in. And I want to thank you guys for being here on my channel with me. You know, I love coming on and talking to you guys about this because I feel that the more that we talk about heaven and the afterlife, the more that I'm hoping that you sense and feel your loved ones with you. So that being said, I hope that you guys know that they're always right there and with you and by your side. And I hope to see you next month in New York or May 21st at my next online group reading. Just make sure that you get it. Just make sure you get your tickets ASAP. A lot of you guys are asking, when you come into Columbus, Ohio? That's up on my website, meetmattfraser.com. That's the best place to go, meetmattfraser.com, because if the dead people can find me, you can find me on there as well. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. And I cannot wait till one day I'm able to deliver you a message from your loved ones. I'll see you soon.